to Task Force Podcast, an airsoft podcast made by the airsofters for the airsofters.
What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Task Force Podcast. I'm your host, Snake, joined by my co-host,
who's out of breath. Nasty.
Yes, Nasty. Sorry
Awkward
for the
on the
delay to
mic.
start.
Yes.
Nasty had to run his fat ass upstairs to take care of my kids for some weird reason, but that's how it is.
Closer.
So, what?
I was closer.
Yeah, you were closer.
Yeah.
And I'm fat. So,
right.
Today, obviously, we are joined by our guest, who is down there for you guys,
Yeah.
Caber.
Hey.
And if you guys don't know who Caber is, you need to go to Instagram and look up TA_Caber and follow him right fucking now.
Yeah.
So, dude, let him know what's up. How are you doing?
You're fucking, it's coming in now, so now I get to see your whole background. Dude, your shit is fucking legit, dude.
I mean, we try to make it well, obviously you saw our background when you did the review of
this looks way better.
Yeah, we put some time into
More,
this.
just a lot more money than time.
You've got LED backing in there.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. This all stemmed off a drunk idea.
Yeah.
This was great.
Yeah, it
Isn't
was
it
a drunk
all?
idea.
Yeah.
Isn't it always?
Always. Yeah.
So, if you're new here, this is a shit show, and we just talk.
But we
and,
love it.
Yeah, we just hang out. This is a staging area, so look at it that way. If you got any questions or anything, and you want to know, drop them in the chat. We'll always check in on it, and maybe Caber will answer, or maybe he'll tell you no. So,
That man just wants my phone number. That's all there is to it.
So, Caber, you run a field out of what? California, right?
Yes. Northern California.
And it's True Aim, correct?
Yes.
It was in the past Airsoft Ministry.
Yes.
So you guys recently made the change to True Aim. I actually just watched the video the other day kind of explaining why. And dude, that's awesome for you, really.
There's a lot going on in that with that.
Yes.
Fuck. That was a big involvement project.
Beat his ass.
But it was but I also feel for you too, because we were talking before the show started, I've tried to run games and it's a nightmare, and you're running games and now you're in charge and still not getting any cool repercussions for it, other than the joy
I get to play for free, bro.
Yo, hit me up with tickets. Yeah.
I love talking to I'll talk to dads and kids and stuff all the time where they talk about buying their first gun or their first accessory or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, we just got into this. I was like, oh yeah, I just got into it 4 years ago. Now I'm managing a field. Good luck.
Hey, now everybody can buy his cat instead of mine.
Yeah. What's your cat's name?
That is Vash. It's my buddy's cat. I'm at his place right now.
Oh, okay.
Right. Nasty.
Buy his cat.
Socks.
My cat's named Socks because it's little white feet, cute little bitch.
I hate cats.
Hey, would you right click his name real quick?
Everyone went to my buddy's house for his barbecue. And so I'm here, and both of his dog and his cat are like, oh, give me fucking attention. You want to hear.
Yeah. That's fine.
But let's see here what we got. Nasty looking kind of hot.
No, Nasty going baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's better than what it was. I looked like... Never mind. Woo, I was going to go somewhere I wasn't ready for.
Oh, my God. Caber has got the other red beard. I don't know where my red comes from, but I have a red beard. And I don't know.
My hair was, when I had hair, it was blonde forever. Forever. And then, because I was always shaving for years because of work.
Right.
And I do a weekend beard or oh, that's kind of dark.
Right.
And then as I let it grow, when I quit, I was like, oh shit, this was a lot redder than I remember at any point in my life, because I hadn't had a beard Fuck. When I just got out of the army the first time, in like '07, I let it grow out and that got kind of red. And
Right.
then I had to shave it for a job. And now it's fucking every morning I wake up and I just have this instinctual urge to just like raid a monastery up and down the English coast somewhere.
Yeah, mine's not quite as like lush and
No,
full and
that's
sexy.
that's called luxurious.
It'll
This
come.
is
I don't know, man.
No,
I don't
that
know.
will
This
never
is-
fill in.
This
That's
is
it.
like 4 months of time, and I'm like, ugh, and I cut
This
this
is like
shit off.
how long have I been unemployed now? Like 3 years? 3 years?
yeah.
So you were in the military before,
Yeah.
yes, and then
About 12 years all in.
really, you
Yeah.
said 2 separate times. So you went once, and then you got out, and then you were like,
Oh.
I want some more.
It was like a bad relationship.
Huh?
So me and the army were together full time for like 3 years and some change.
Right.
And then we divorced. We broke up. And then after a year, I got drunk and slid back into the Army's DMs. I was like, I miss you. And the Army was like, I miss you. Like, oh my God. And then I was in the National Guard for like 8 years. So
Right.
then it was more like a fuck buddy relationship.
The National Guard. So what were the 2 biggest differences other than being full-time versus
Is National
Not
Guard a
full-time.
branch?
technically kind of? It's a little bit different. Like a weekend
More, I
warrior,
think
man.
I think that's actually labeled as a component
Right.
Oh,
than a branch.
here's the
fuck
statue.
the
Here's
fucking-
the Lego.
Still better than the Coast Guard, from my understanding.
Oh yeah. See, the Coast Guard's like
Yeah.
speedballers.
Well, they're
And
all
the
fully
rest
met
of them
under
are-
Homeland Security now.
Oh,
they're not
there you go.
technically-
Yeah.
They're not technically the military.
So they run Springers.
Technically.
My fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking involvement was they're really just 2 entirely different worlds to me. I hated both of them for different reasons.
Right.
Because when you're National Guard for a while and you do the fucking weekend thing, you're like, fuck, man, these guys are fucking stupid. Like, man, I wish I was around some active duty guys. And then you go back active duty and you're like, fuck this, I forgot how fucking dumb this was. No, this is why I got out. I'm going back to the M-Day status. And then you're like, you know what? You're both retarded. I quit. I'm fucking... That's
I'm
it.
done.
That's it. 2 breakups is enough.
So, if there's anything I've learned from hanging out with dudes who are in the military,
all
it's
idiots.
that you either
Yeah.
well, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a little bit of a given, but I can't say that because I didn't serve, which, by the way, thank
I
you.
can say that.
Right.
I'll play that song all day. Don't you dare stop that.
Anyway, but the
What are you gonna
main
drive me to
things,
Applebee's so I can get my free appetizer on Veterans Day? Get out of here with
I
that
mean,
shit.
Can I have your ice cream? The free
Yes.
ice cream. Thank you. Done.
but no, the 2 things that always happen is either one, well, the one thing for sure is you buy something that you absolutely did not need to buy when you got all of that sign-on money, like a
A
Camaro
car. Yeah.
or a Charger
Or a truck.
or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or an S10 Extreme.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Wouldn't know that guy.
Or you married the first girl who was like just ready
You
to
say
do
that.
it, and then you know
Funny you say that.
you're no longer with that person typically after a couple years.
Funny you say that.
It's weird you bring this up.
Hey man,
It's just a thing.
Funny you
Is-
say that.
these are like these are the 2 things that seem to commonly follow vets.
Yeah. So, Clayton,
As
do
I
you remember?
text my ex-girlfriend or my ex-wife and congratulate her on her first date she's had in over like 15 years.
Clayton,
That's rough.
that's
Could you
rough.
imagine? Like,
We were married like I got married right before my 20th birthday. And then we got divorced right before my 22nd birthday. And then she was with a guy forever. They were married, and now she's single again. I'm like, hey, welcome to the club.
yeah. Hey, remember that twice in We Married Army? What's up?
what?
Now her
Yeah?
sister, her
Ooh.
younger sister, is engaged to a guy. I'm like, did she not learn anything from us?
No,
No.
they're women.
No.
You'll figure it out.
No.
So
Tractor
you
is a hell of a drug.
so you get out and
Mhm.
you pursue law enforcement?
I got when I was active duty, I left that like every other fucking stereotype. I was an armed guard for a while because it's the only thing I could do.
Right.
So I did that for a couple years, and then I hopped on. I got hired by a DoD sub agency called the Defense Logistics Agency, and I was a police officer with them, a uniformed police officer for them for like, fuck, like 8 years. I hated it after about the first 8 months, give or take. And then I finally had just had enough, and I quit that. Surprisingly enough, right, that's the same year that I left the army. I also quit work, so I was just done with the whole federal government as a whole, and now I run an airsoft field.
What's just a transition?
Yeah.
That's like a 50-year-old dude
Right.
buying a fucking
Right.
Chevelle and rebuilding it, and then that's just like, no,
But
life's not over at 50.
I don't know where you were going with that.
That's my job. That's all I'm here for.
I know.
Okay, continue.
Very awkward.
We all have our purpose.
But no, dude. So I definitely want to talk more about you owning a field because, like I said,
Send it.
running games is already tough enough. But I've got to know the absolute funniest thing you have seen when you
fuck.
in owning the field. Like there has to be something, one or two that stand out in your mind that you're like, dude, this shit. Either stupidity or just pure hilarity.
I remember seeing there's a kid in the airsoft ministry days. He had a pistol, and he was in the and so our field is about maybe 260 feet long, give or take in there, and he's on the opposite end of the field shooting his pistol, which is locked to the rear, and yelling, "Why isn't this kid calling it? Like, call your hits!" And like this kid might have been like 11.
Oh no, this ain't no movie. Fuck, god damn it.
Yeah, it's so bad. But like little silly things like that are pretty bad. We haven't had fights when guys argue. To me, sounds pretty hilarious.
No, it's
because
great.
They remind me of like those Buffalo Wild Wings bro fights, which are essentially about nothing but their own ego.
Right.
Those are always fun to watch. I get a kick out of that.
Nothing
What
like
else is there?
nothing like an Asian running downhill, passing out, hitting the side of a building, and then a Marine comes up. I'm gonna piss on his chest.
Yeah.
Nothing that funny.
Nothing too, well,
Okay.
Yeah.
where it's a flatland field, so.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Because you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was amazing. Greatest day of my life.
It's like 105 outside. Dude's
Yeah,
kitted up all black.
And I'm sitting against the wall. He's like,
Yeah.
straight passes out, and
Just-
just hits the
yeah.
fucking wall. I'm like, oh, what was his name? Marine? Did we call him that?
Gunny?
Sure.
Yeah, Gunny walks
Come on
over, unzips his pants, like I'm gonna piss on his chest. It'll wake him up. And I'm like, no.
Nothing that crazy.
I don't know.
That might be more of like an event specific
Okay, okay.
because I've noticed that like event crazy versus field crazy, like weekend
Oh,
field
that's true.
crazy. There's usually one doesn't always cross over.
Fair.
Right. Well,
A field like weekend field crazy, it's pretty much every stereotype you've probably heard of, and I just make fun of everyone for it, and that's it.
he burned my patch.
Yeah, just stupid stuff.
203 going off.
People still bring that up. That shit is 10 years old. People still
I
talk
know.
about it.
I know. It's still just hilarity to me. Like
Yeah.
it's, dude, he burned my patch. What the fuck are you
I mean-
talking about?
I make fun of kids all the time in front of their parents. I find that funny. That's about it.
No, I would too. That'd be amazing. Hey, little fucker.
We had this kid maybe 2 weeks ago, and he had on both shoulders and both sides of his helmet, he had a Special Forces tab, a Ranger scroll, and a Airborne tab.
Right.
And he might have been like 13 if he was a day old. just had no idea what he was doing with his rifle, just twirling it around everywhere. And his dad was pretty built looking, like conservative haircut, grunt style, like G-Shock watch, like
Yeah.
this guy at some point probably carried a gun for a living.
Right.
So I look at the kid and go, "Did you get through, bro? Did you get through like rope with that gun, with those gun handling skills?" The kid didn't understand the ranger joke about it. The dad lost his mind. Like, oh, dad is probably in the army. Dad gets it. But like little quips like that, like I call all little boys Fortniters.
Right.
If they're like, or like to me, anyone that's like 14 and under is just
Oh,
Fortnite
yeah.
years old.
Guaranteed.
And I bring those references up all the time in front of their parents, and they love. For some reason, I don't know if it's the income level up here or what. Parents will essentially pay me, to talk shit to their kids for 4 hours. And they come back, they pick them up, and we talk shit to their kids together, and they leave, and they bring them back the next day. I turn it
Easy.
into a business model.
Easy money.
Dude,
I would,
I don't.
dude, that'd be an amazing job.
I don't know if it's like in today's society, people are afraid to like discipline or give their kids a hard time. Like, but
Duh. I'd let
I've
you
noticed
have it.
I've noticed that as well. Like the local babysitters
doesn't
and
have
stuff here
that
do that
problem.
shit. It's like it's crazy the way that shit happens. It's just weird. Parents are like, yes, somebody give it to him. Yes,
Because I'm too pussy to. Because Karen on Facebook, so you're a bad parent. If you like tell your kid you're in trouble, send it to this guy.
if you put your kid in timeout, you're
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
biggest
Piece of
meanest
shit
person ever.
on the fucking
Gonna
planet.
go to jail.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they send them to my field. I yell at them in front of everyone. I make fun of them on Instagram, all that shit. And they just keep fucking take it. All of it. Just all of it. You're the best. Like, oh, all right.
nah, I'll take
I have
it.
some specific questions for your home life, but
Fuck
hey,
for it.
cool. Okay. Birthday parties, especially if it's like a little kid's party, dude, I'll just treat them like I'm processing them in accounting. I just treat them like little prisoners.
Oh yeah.
Just put the hat back on, the whole thing, and I don't know what it is. Especially, I don't know if it's a thing with high income parents, but the richer the parent, like the bigger the smile when I start just tearing into their kid. And I'll just flip
Yeah.
that switch so fast. And the
Yeah.
parents, they just light up like it's Christmas morning. Like, you can do this.
But they'll lose sleep.
It's yours. You made them.
Right. But I'll lose sleep. My repent on Sunday won't work. I can't do it.
I would have been brought joy from doing this, and that's not allowed.
Yeah, exactly. I'll pay this man however much money to yell at my kid. Fuck yeah.
That's right. I get some satisfaction
Years
by
ago,
living vicariously
when
through
I-
him.
Yeah.
When I started doing a lot of stuff with the airsoft ministry, one of the first things I kind of came to the conclusion of was I don't need to understand it. I just need to figure out how to exploit it for money. That's
Yes.
Agreed.
And this is something also like you kind of that you say that is like most airsofters, if you talk about doing airsoft or making videos or whatever, and you talk about doing it to try to make a living from it, right? Essentially, I'm trying to make money doing this, right? People
Right.
take serious offense
Right.
from it. And I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, but people go off the rails that you're honest, like, hey, this is something I really enjoy. This is something I want to do. And if I'm going to continue to do it, unfortunately it has to have some real reason for me to
Right.
be able to say, I'm going to take this amount of time and devote it to it. Running a field, doing YouTube videos, stuff like that.
But you don't get that same feedback going, oh, I can't wait to go to work today. Yes. Happy. Go to work. But
No.
when you
should
want
do
this to be
everything
your
for the community, and you should do it
Exactly.
all for free.
We should do it for the good of the office.
Fuck
Right.
the people.
Right.
Oh, I'm playing. I love everybody.
Like,
But
I love the airsoft community, but that's the one thing that I feel like they're very quick to be judgmental on when it comes to money,
Yeah.
dude. And really, if somebody is onto something and you guys are enjoying it and you want more of it,
don't
it shouldn't
shit
be
on my
wrong.
shit, bro.
It shouldn't be wrong for that person to be like, dude,
Man, fuck
people really
you.
like this. I want to do this full time. I need to make a living out of it. This is how I could do it.
Right.
should just be like,
You're
Seen usually like the younger players.
right,
Because I think it's because they don't have access to real access to money.
right,
That's where the bitching comes. Well, and any fuckboy adult that's some piece of shit, but whatever. But like an adult player doesn't care.
Care.
Like all my buddies that still work for agencies, like all my army buddies, all those guys. I tell them like, dude, I got this many subscribers to this. I got these many people following me on. Like, I made $15 just talking online the other day.
right,
They light up like, how?
right,
How the fuck did you do that?
right. It shouldn't
It
be,
baffles them.
yeah, but it shouldn't be something that's viewed as negative. I feel like, I
I
mean,
think it's
Listen.
only viewed as negative from people that have had it easy, maybe their whole life.
right,
Because like because I still talk to all my professional buddies, they fucking love everything. Like I am just apparently living the dream, if you can believe that, because I don't have to shave. I can wear whatever the hell I want to work, and I don't have to piss in a cup ever, ever.
right,
I do whatever the fuck I want.
exposed
But, like,
himself.
That
exposed.
when you've lived with that style of freedom your whole life,
Yeah.
you don't you don't appreciate that.
Right.
So like
Right.
all my guys fucking love everything. They want to be just like me, which is really obscure to
Right.
say. Like even when it was just Airsoft Ministry, when I just had like 100 YouTube subscribers, or if I'd be editing a video at work because I didn't feel like doing anything that day, they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm editing a YouTube video. For who? Me.
Right.
Like, oh fuck, you have a YouTube? Like, yeah. What do you mean? Why are you so like? How many? What are you up to? I'm like, I got like 50 subscribers right now. Like, oh, how did you do that?
I know.
What?
No.
What?
Dude, a lot of it's
Yeah.
just you have to be willing to put a little bit of time into it. And that's the one
Effort.
thing, like, I've gotten a lot of questions like, well, how do you get so many people to watch your show or listen to your show? I'm like, I just
Be
it-
retarded
I-
and
I
put it
just-
in time.
Stop caring.
put it out there
Right.
and put some hashtags on it, and all of a sudden people were like, oh, this is a thing.
Oh, they're dumb like me. Let's watch. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
stupidity I can understand.
Right. Not big words, stupid shit like what I'm doing right now. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can turn on the TV and
Languages. Well, there's
crazy.
there's several languages I've learned to speak. One of them is like the dick joke languages, which is usually the conversations I have with my friends. Like, how did you do that? I'm like, I just stopped fucking caring, and I put a couple hashtags in there, and shit just sort of works.
yes.
And then then there's like the B2B, the business language, when I'm doing like retail consulting with a shop or a field or something like that, and I start talking about like demographics, search engine optimization, all like these business terms, and they look at me like I have a fucking PhD. like no, I listened to some podcasts, I watched some YouTube videos, and I took a couple community college classes, and
Yes.
I knew it. Apparently now I'm fucking a genius. I
Dude,
guess.
Right.
If you want to know how to do anything, the answer is YouTube. YouTube has the answer for everything. You want to know how to start a
That's how I taught
podcast?
myself marketing.
Yeah. Same with me. Like, I had no fucking idea how to start a podcast. So I was like, I YouTubed the shit out of it for a week. And I was like, this really doesn't seem that hard.
And then unfortunately, here we are.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
And then, of course, you're like, oh, well, how people are going to know about us if we're not on social media? So you make it social media.
Yeah.
You go from there. Slowly it happens.
Then you
And-
figure out that there's shit your competitors aren't doing because they're too old and fucking boomerish to want to do this shit, and then you end up making a little bit more money than they do at some point.
Right.
Right.
Or you're just more date per capita. That dude's just doing better. I've discovered that.
Yeah. Baxter said, just be you and the people will follow or not. But we got to enjoy what you do. Exactly. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
There's
People
some
will follow you if
Funny
they
is
like
in
it.
Airsoft, they don't have to enjoy it. People will watch your shit just because they hate you.
Right.
Agreed.
This-
Agreed.
This is exactly.
Where else does that happen?
This is exactly
I don't
what
go to
I.
a restaurant because I know they're gonna fuck my food up. But in Airsoft, like, this fucking guy's so fucking toxic. You gotta
Yeah.
watch this video. I'm like,
And
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
watched all 30 to an hour of it, bitch. Thanks for the view.
Yeah.
Like,
the last 7 videos, he's such a piece of shit. He's just shooting people in the face the whole thing. Wait, you watched
What up, Mike?
7 of his videos? You fed his analytics?
Yeah.
Right.
What?
And
Yeah.
then you posted on Facebook, time marked it, and did the whole
Look
9
at
yards. And then the dude gets that much more time watched on a
See,
video because his time stamps.
It's funny because the exact same thing I told Airsoft Pro League when we had them on. I was like, hey, man, I'll tell you this. Bad press is still press.
Yep.
Still people talking about you. You are the most talked about thing right now, and people don't like it. And they're
Dude,
doing it.
That Facebook group, the North American Airsofters, constantly talking about them. Good for you, Chris.
Right. Like,
Keep doing your shit. Who
I mean,
cares?
it fucking,
Matter of fact,
negative or not, people know who you are when they say Airsoft Pro League.
it seems to benefit you more when everybody hates you than when everybody likes you.
Unfortunately.
You get more publicity that way.
Well, what's crazy is on the negativity, people will come to you and they'll be like, I don't really get it. This guy seems all right. And now you have somebody who actually enjoys your content, is watching you, from somebody who was like, go check this guy out. What the fuck is he even on?
Yeah, douchebag. And then you're like, well, I kind of like this douchebag. Yeah.
I get it. I get where he's coming from.
20 or 30% of my subscribers from YouTube happen that way. Because that Power Ops video reaction I did, 45,539 views right now.
40. I just watched it with Nasty.
Yeah, and so below that, like my T6 review, 9,000. My most popular video is at basically 45,000, and past that, nothing else is broke 4,800.
And if you guys,
because it's shit.
if you guys
talk.
aren't,
That's all you need. That is
following
all
him,
you need to know. That is literally all you need to know about airsoft content. If you just talk about the worst shit, that
Yep.
will all go viral so fast.
We absorb the toxicity these days so fast, more than we'll ever to positive
It's great.
information.
the
It's
easiest way to be
great.
successful.
Yeah, we
And
could
if-
fight right now, like fist fight, and I guarantee you we'd have a couple million views.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
For sure.
Instant.
Correct.
If you guys aren't following Caber, I have his YouTube on the screen right now. You need
Do
to
it.
go and follow this guy. He does put out interesting videos. He covers some stuff. As a matter of fact, he actually covered our video of the Airsoft Pro League that we had done. But he's honest, and like, you
Right.
want to know what you're looking at when you make YouTube money and you're just starting, he'll tell you. Like, that's where I was going earlier with that, is like, you're very straightforward with it, and that's like good to see, in my opinion. Somebody who's like, look, you wonder what the back end of it is,
You got-
because people
Like-
think once you become monetized or you have
No.
a sponsor, like,
Oh,
you're
no.
making money. Like,
No.
oh, these dudes are living the dream, and I'm over here like, you know, the sponsors we give you guys discount codes on is literally just discount codes
We
for you
do not
guys.
make money.
There is no kickback.
The
This
only
is-
money we've made is from the good hearts of the few people
Yes.
that could or did donate.
Right.
You know, and that is what helped produce most of this.
Yes,
so
that's why you get the improved setup and all that, because unfortunately I work full time. Nasty works full time. You have lives outside of this. You got to pay for stuff, and any donations or thing goes to it. Yeah, I know.
I figured out
retire.
kind of a while ago, once I kind of started studying all this and figuring shit out, I would start to look at what isn't being put out there.
Right.
Well, you can find tons of videos on generic YouTube SEO and all that, but once it gets to the airsoft YouTube side of the house, no one really puts that specific content. Granted, because I think there is part of it, once you monetize it, I think you're not supposed to disclose what you're making or some shit like that. But
I don't know,
give a fuck.
because there's a guy I follow, Think Media, which if you're really needing some like small tech tips and shit for behind the scenes on how to make YouTube, Think Media, they have done videos where they show like to look at metrics, and they end up showing what they make, which those guys, don't get me wrong, they make fucking money, like 50 grand a month. Holy shit.
Most of it's
Usually-
taxed.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, because I learned this from Scott, US Airsoft, because I hung out with him at Overwatch Tactics. Hey, And I was talking to him about monetization. He just pulled his phone out. I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm doing per video. I'm like, oh, this is so. Usually, if I sort of came up with this ratio in my head that if you're at about 100,000 subscribers on a YouTube channel and it's doing fairly average and fairly well, you can usually get about $1,000 a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
for about every 100,000 subs you're getting, you can expect to make about 1,000 a month, give or take.
Right.
Including your one-offs
Right.
and your
Right.
viral
Yeah.
posts and shit.
But
That's, decent with consistent community involvement and shit like that. You can do about 1,000 a month.
Right. But people also don't understand, like, you're making $1,000 a month, and some people would say that's a lot, which, I mean, that's a decent
Until
chunk of
bills
change.
hit your fucking table.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, but let's talk 16-year-old you.
Right.
$1,000, you're like, goddamn, $1,000? Must got a gold toilet,
Oh,
you know? Like,
I remember when I was a fucking E1, I think my first paycheck was like maybe $1,200, and I was like, oh fuck, I could buy a house with this. Or two houses with this.
yeah, dude. I remember working minimum wage when I was 16, making $5.25, working at a movie theater, and I put probably 95 hours in. I was working double, right? And I remember I got my check and I was like, $700? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like,
we go do some coke and fuck
Bro.
bitches tonight.
Yeah.
That's the kind of money.
Now here I am, almost 30, and I'm like, $700 is.
Everyone let Red Lobster. Do this.
You wanted some of those cheddar biscuits? We getting them.
Boom. But that's all we're getting though, because they're free. Yeah, yeah, that's all we're.
But no, dude, I appreciate the transparency and the behind the scenes and things like that. And as well, you do kind of the same thing a little bit I've seen on like Running the Field, where you talk a little bit like, oh, these are things I look at and this type of stuff. Like, it really gives people a look at how much time you really actually put in to doing what you're doing. And then you have to think, if you don't know video editing, like to put a video up on YouTube and do all that, it actually probably takes, I would say a solid probably 10 hours of editing and like putting together shit and posting
Like
it
real
and all
editing,
that.
yeah.
Yes. And there's a lot of fucking time that goes into it. So it's not just, I recorded this in one take, I put it in there, loaded it together and put it up in 45 minutes. Unless you're Task Force Podcast, in which case you record for 2 hours and the video automatically uploads to YouTube and you say, good enough? And you move on.
Fuck it.
But when we were editing videos, I would spend like a solid 8, 10, 11 hours just editing.
And then you have to have the will to do it. You have to go, fine, I'll sit down,
dude,
and I'll start chopping.
It wasn't even the will. It was the Friday at 5, this has to drop. So I need to have this done and start uploading on Thursday because my internet is not
booty
great.
cheeks.
And it's going to take all night to get uploaded because it's 45 minutes.
So slow.
Yes.
The damn that Rodinson video I did is like 2 minutes 14 seconds. That fucking video took me almost 4 days.
Wendy's Wi-Fi. That's all I gotta say. Wendy's Wi-Fi. I understand. We have all been there.
Let's see.
It happens.
It does.
You gotta get it how you get it. I'm not hating on the game.
Get it how you live, man. That's all there is to it.
So one of the, you start to look at the concepts of content that people are doing. It's pretty much all the same. Everyone does fucking gameplay. Everyone does fucking product reviews. Sometimes there'll be a variance in style, but fundamentally, most of that shit is all the same.
Yeah.
And I got real fucking bored. And I get it. That's where, that's how you launch your platform or whatever. But I started looking at what isn't out there.
Right.
Well, fuck, no one that works a field is talking about business level field shit. No, fucking no one. No refs are talking. You seem like maybe one or two off guys here and there, but it's not consistent. No manager that I've seen is constantly talking about the business side of shit. Like, there is no business. No one pulls back the curtain on the business side of the house. So, fuck it. That's like, it might not be popular, but it's at least a unique
Right.
content concept that I
Right.
can branch out from, and it's easy for me essentially.
And
Fuck, what else isn't out there? No
Right.
one's talking about the behind the scenes, the analytics of YouTube. So I'd see kids, I still have kids that will just upload raw gameplay footage for like 15 minutes. They just take it, upload it, call it good. And they're like, I don't know why it's not good. Like, bro, this shit it starts with you in the staging area and it ends with you going back to this. Do you know how fucking boring that shit is for 15 minutes?
Right.
Holy shit, son. Highlight reel this.
Yes.
right.
Yes, I would agree. A lot of times you see gameplay is probably the number one, and then yes, right next to it is product reviews. And I pulled up your YouTube channel. There's always a little bit of a delay, but the YouTube channel here, like when you look at everything he's got going on, like you see, like he's got
Magic Mondays,
your
baby.
you got your sup nerds just talking with people. You've got a little bit of behind the scenes, like Airsoft Ministry, what it would have looked like in 2021, Magic Mondays. You've got gameplay, you've got product
Talking
reviews.
shit to people.
Dude, you have
Telling
got
people on their team is trash.
like you have
so
got
well.
see and this is the one thing is like you've got a variety of video styles, a different outlook on different things, but you've got what people want to see
Yeah.
to bring them in. You've got other stuff that's interesting, but the main thing is as long as you're keeping your premise around one item and you're not going like,
Crazy.
you know, like Caber is cooking today, like
Yeah.
the fuck, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it would be random, but he's keeping it around airsoft, so you get to see things that you don't always think of. You get to see things that you want to see, and you get to see some things that maybe you didn't think about, and that I can appreciate.
This
from
is the
your
type of
channel.
content, if I randomly came across going through the black hole that is YouTube, I'm the type that will watch your video. This is dope. Come to your channel. I will stalk a channel for months before
Yeah.
I subscribe, you know?
Okay.
I come back and be like, fuck, what's this guy's name? Watch his new video.
Right.
And then I can tell you already, I would have subscribed.
Baxter
And
said, "Go
I
ahead."
learned a lot about specifically YouTube from my brother. So my brother worked for a big name YouTuber. Have you heard of a guy named Ryan Higa?
I have not.
He's been a big YouTuber for like 10 years or so. So my brother used to work for him in his production company, and that was really how I at least got like a founding idea of don't just do a bunch of shit. So everything for me is still within the realm of airsoft. Even if I
Right.
go into like so at some point I'm going to do barrack stories, so that's going to be fun.
Right.
So like storytelling, gameplay, even shit from when I was a cop, from when I was in the army, that's still within
Yeah.
that kind of
And
generic
It's
space
it's
of
within
airsoft.
airsofters' attention
Right.
span for sure.
And trust me, that's going to work if our shit works. So,
But also, whatever hits is what I
Writing
usually work on next.
Yep.
Right.
Agreed.
So, like, what did I end up doing? So like the 916 one was a real fun one for me because I really like that edgy boy style of transitions and
Right.
like the videography aspect of it. And I know a lot of those kids. So
I'm
like,
just gonna go ahead.
fuck, man, I'm gonna do some edgy shit because it's fun. Suicide Boys in there, the whole fucking thing.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
We're playing it right
The
now, by the
actor
way.
big. The WeTech GBBR one that I did, the sole reason I did that was to gear me up and prepare me for the LM4D series of videos I wanted to do. Well, I didn't have that gas rifle yet, so I bought the cheapest fucking gas rifle that I could without one being a total piece of shit. So I bought the WeTech GBBR and just started fucking with it. So I taught myself, I would go through and I'd watch like all the most popular videos and review videos for that gun. I'd see what's the oldest one, what's the newest one, what's trending, what's not, like what's popular, basically recreate that. And
Right.
that was a project for it was a rough draft for a rough draft, if you could believe it.
Right. Well, see,
And then from there, I just started doing other
Thank
shit. So
you.
now at some point I can compare the WeTech to the KWA, and at some point maybe I can get a GHK, and I could just do just fucking
That would be
find the gun,
sick.
find the gun.
Thank you for the donation, $1.69. I like your
Ooh,
style.
get it, girl.
Yes, we do it like a
weird
sexy
high
high five that's like not sexy, but
Right.
yes. Caber hitting us with the 5. There was a couple questions though that got dropped in. I want to make sure we get those.
And,
Zombie said, Caber, is there any chance of increasing FPS limits on bolt action rifles to 500 in the future, or is that for insurance reasons?
Oh, it's not for insurance reasons. It's for us reasons. Why do you need a? If you can explain to me logically why
I got this.
in a field that is roughly 250 by roughly 125 and almost butthole watertight, why you need more than 450 FPS with a bolt action rifle with a .28 BB, I'll listen.
Cause
But a bolt action rifle on my field, I'm going to put it out there. A bolt action rifle at true aim is kind of a stupid idea. It's not very efficient. You need to go to All Patriot. I think they have the same FPS limitations. But if you're trying to use a bolt action rifle at my field, you're not going to have a fun day.
but
It's
I'm
a butthole tight CQB field.
It's tight as a watertight, like a dolphin's butthole.
I feel like mine's pretty tight.
I don't know where I was going with that. Let's see here. Baxter said, so if his field didn't work out, what would he have done airsoft wise or not? I'm curious. Would you have done airsoft or no?
If true aim hadn't worked out, I probably would have almost entirely pulled out.
Yeah.
Giggity.
And you talked about that in your
do.
what would airsoft ministry look
Yeah.
like it in 2021, which
I'd probably still go to like a couple fields, maybe here and there, just because I
Right.
know so many of them.
right.
But I would do probably more behind the scenes work.
Right.
I would still do collabs with KWA because I love those guys. I'd still do like collabs and projects and shit. But as far as like the frequency of stuff I was doing, it would have been more of a vlog style and a react style versus like playing. I would have
Right.
gone to a whole lot of fields. But for in whole, you would see me step back a lot.
Yeah. And I feel like if you've been in airsoft for a long time, maybe it hasn't happened to you, but I know it happened to us. Dude, we played hard for, I know I played hard for like probably a previous 6 years,
Right.
5 years before I met Nasty. Then we played together for another probably like, I don't
and
know,
played with each other.
5 years, 6 years. Yes, played with each other as well. Circle time. But dude, airsoft, unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't do it in moderation, or if you don't have a reason, like maybe you're running a team, maybe you're running a field, you get burned.
You do.
So
You'll burn
quick
out
if
hard.
you just
Same
go
thing.
super hard. And the same thing happened to us, I don't know, years back. It was life or airsoft, and eventually I got life things I gotta take care of. The nice part is you're like, you keep up with airsoft a little bit, and then you're like, I'm coming back, bitches, and you're into it again. And it's crazy to see how much like small things changed.
All the
I
things
find that
we
there's
wanted.
usually there's more burnout in like the field level.
Agreed.
So like I know guys who really don't fuck with fields a whole lot, but they just chase the events.
Right.
So like they'll do all the AMS stuff they can. They'll do all the MSW shit.
Right.
Every once in a blue moon, like if they get a new gun, they'll come to a local field
Right.
and test it out. But like burnout really comes from the like the weekend field level.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen more so than the event. So I probably would have done more events. Like you'd probably see me more like some AMS stuff. I'd probably do more with Will and Overwatch Tactics, like shit like that. But like local fields, nah, man. I'd end up getting. Most likely, I would have either gone full time with the little gun training bullshit I do, or I'd probably just been some fucking miserable operations manager
Right.
for some shitty security company.
Right. See, and that's also where we were at. It's like we were weekend players constantly, local
Weekend
field every
warriors.
single weekend. We went to a milsim and we were like, yo, this is a bee's
This
knees,
is whole
man.
different thing.
Way
Then
different.
then the
Way
weekend becomes like your either your training practice, new gear setup, new gun setup.
It
practice
always
field.
got to the point after that first invasion. You're just like, I don't feel like going this weekend
Right.
to our local games. It's not the same, you
Right.
know. It's not getting lost. It's not getting, it's
Right.
just not the same.
And see, that's
When
something.
it's new, you're like, oh yeah, I have this
Yeah.
new toy and it's
Right.
exciting and I always play with it. But after a while, you're like, it's fucking cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if you had it like if you could only play with it on weekends or once a month, like
Right.
It's a whole
when
thing.
you just immerse and you just fucking have it all the time, you don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
And see, that's the one thing that I like that you do with True Aim is. So I feel like I haven't seen it, at least in any local fields, is so he'll do like speed
All my
QB
second
style
year.
tournaments. He'll do
yeah.
regular field play, and then he has Milsim days. Yes, this is like, sorry, dude, but you've got a field that you're fucking putting like what people want who do go to the weekend all the time, and maybe they had that ruined for them by going to a milsim, but they can't afford to go all the time.
Right.
You give them that little bit of cool. I get
There
to
you
look
go.
forward to milsim day, and I can use the other days as practice days or whatever. And you don't get that a lot from fields.
No.
They just run the normal 9 to 5 on Saturday, and they shut
Dude,
the shit down.
This is what our local fields are. They open the gate, give me your money, sign this,
fucking care.
go shoot yourself. Okay, we're done. Fuck off.
Right.
I'd leave. I gotta go somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Usually weekend only fields seem to be the biggest perpetrator of this, because your average weekend field is usually out in the middle of butt fuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indoor fields are usually more like 5 days a week because they're in city limits.
Right.
So their frequency of customers. I mean, fuck. Some fields you could probably pass on your way to work.
Right.
So I understand that when you're open for only maybe 2 to 3 days out of the week, it makes sense. You have to maximize your profits.
Right.
But damn if that shit doesn't get boring.
Right. Right.
Figure it the fuck out, guys. Figure that shit out.
We'll see in here locally, we have 2 fields. And they'll run a game every other weekend. So you'll have 1 week here, then the next week this place, then the next week this place, then the next week this place, which we share with paintballers, which is kind of like a drag. But yeah. No matter what you do, your shit's covered in paint, which is shitty.
No matter
But
what they do, they don't give a fuck about your experience.
right. And so that's where a lot of that, like, at least in my opinion, like, I don't necessarily care for paintballers. Like, as people, they're cool, but
No.
most of my experiences with paintballers has been negative because they don't give a fuck about airsoft, and airsofters don't give a fuck about paintballers, and airsofters view paintballers as getting shit all over the place, and my shit gets fucked up, and paintballers view airsofters as a nonsense because they can't go on that field, and that's where they want to play right now, and it's a cluster. So if you have an airsoft only field, be grateful. For the love of God, be grateful, because it's not like that everywhere you
Especially
go.
if they're willing to do different ways to take your fucking money.
Yes, dude.
Which is the real reason I do this shit.
If one of those fields here though would do a milsim day for one of those days, I guarantee they would have a big turnout for it because a lot of guys want something different. But
Right.
as you said,
It's not as
they're
profitable,
afraid.
but
Yeah, they're afraid for the pocketbook, which is totally understandable, especially when it's your business and you got to take care of it. But it's worth a gamble, in my opinion.
shit, I can give you I'll tell you what our fucking numbers were. Let me fucking bring that up. So I, as the president and operations manager of the field, I always like to track our analytics so I can see if I'm fucking doing good. Our first, so this was also our first one. We only do them on Saturdays and we do them monthly. We had 46 players, all in. We made $1,500. The shop, we didn't make that much in retail. Granted, we hadn't. The X factor in there is we hadn't tailored our retail presence specifically for that demographic.
Right.
So it's still very first-time players, still very all-encompassing.
Right.
Conversely, on the Saturday prior to that, we made $2,800. So with 77 players.
Right.
That's not bad.
On Milsim, granted, on those Milsim days, yeah, we do kind of take a bath.
Yeah.
But if you understand that, products need to be developed, if you understand that you're not going to be successful on your first entrepreneur or on your first adventure, if I really just wanted to make money, I would have only kids days on Saturdays, because we made $4,200 on that with 103
Right.
players,
Right.
17 and under only. We made, just from our shop, our retail presence alone, we made $2,200.
Right.
Because all the parents, because we had our kids days have rentals. So guess what all the parents wanted to buy?
Oh yeah.
Guns.
That's right.
We
See,
balled out.
the nice part is though, is you take and you only get, thank you, Baxter, for the donation.
Ow.
I want to add like a more into it. That would be good. But no, so you take a loss, a little bit of a loss on that day. You make 1,500 off of 47 players playing Milsim. But in my opinion, you're going to gain that back because you just created a repeat customer, and
Yes.
maybe they can't make it to Milsim Day and they make it out on a Saturday. So in turn, you make money on him a second day. But not only that, he's going to show back up for Milsim Day and he's going to be there. So now you're just growing that Milsim. The Milsim Day will only continue to grow, in my opinion, especially if word spreads that it's fucking worth it.
And you can tell the parents will put their kids on the other team so you can go shoot your kids.
Yeah. The problem, the main, I don't want to say it's a problem because it's pretty critical and kind of addicting to say, but the mindset that I've seen from talking with other field owners, from knowing other field owners, the conversation usually comes down to basically what I call a quantifiable versus a non-quantifiable ROI. A quantifiable ROI means on a given Saturday, I know what to expect.
Right.
I know, or I can look at my books and figure out what I can expect to make on an average Saturday. And if I'm cool with that, I'm not going to touch shit. I'm not going to impact that because that's my consistent breadwinner is that Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I roll the dice on a new event, I'm not going to be able to quantify how successful that's going to be, which can impact my bottom line. But the advantage to that, again, it's a lot of X factors. The advantage to that is you might bring in other players who have never been to your field, who would have otherwise never have gone to your field
Right.
for that event. I had kids that came from about an hour, 2 hours or so away. They usually play at a field that's 2 hours north of me, but they came to my field, which was out of their parents. When I say they, I mean their parents drove them because they were like 14 years old. Because they came to my field specifically for that event. I've had a lot of players that will come to these specific games that I'll put on from hours away. They'll just show up. And normally if I'd have just done the regular fuck ass Saturday Sunday shit, then it never showed up.
They've
Right.
never
But
been
once
there.
you start catering to different demographics, as is in business, when you cater to a different demographic, you're going to attract that different demographic. So the hope is that you'll show up to my field for that specific day, enjoy the way we do it, have a great time, and want to show up for a regular Saturday and just see
Right.
what that.
Yeah.
Again,
Show up and be like, this is
Rick.
badass. But next Saturday, I want to come back on their normal shit
Yeah.
to see what it's like. And whether they come back after that or not, you got them 2 times.
Right. Plus, you get
works.
those guys who are, your mill simmers, they want to go, but obviously money is tight this year with everybody. So a 1 day, an 8-hour mill sim is a lot more affordable than going to travel, go to a
Yes.
AMS event, MSW event, whatever,
And
spend
pay
the whole time,
hundreds
miss
and
out on
hundreds
pay
of
and do all
dollars.
that. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's a very good idea, and I applaud you for this, sir.
But I'm saying, for 1 day,
Not gonna lie, it's totally greedy on my part. I'm just trying to find different ways to take people's money. So
but that's
it's
but
cool,
that's
there's
fine,
a clear business
because
reason behind
the
it.
more money you take, you can better your field or how
Right.
you do things, hire more
Right.
refs. Like,
This is a prime example. The more money you make, the better the experience, both visually and audioly, and sometimes orally or rectally. But
Mostly rectal.
Mostly rectally.
There is also an argument to be had that because I had this huge advantage, I guess, or privilege, I suppose, was for when I was with the Airsoft Ministry, because it was a nonprofit, we didn't have to worry if we lost necessarily worry if we lost money.
Right.
So I had this blank canvas to fucking do whatever I wanted to an extent.
Yeah.
So I could experiment with, and we were also Sundays only traditionally. So that left usually Saturdays are usually birthdays, and that was it.
Right.
So my Saturday became my blank canvas, so I could experiment with tournaments, tournament formats, different specialty days. So I got to play around with this open mat style of thinking and this experimental style without having to worry about any sort of negative financial impact.
Right.
Because it was a church ministry. We would make money no matter what. We could be there no matter what. The church already owned the land. So there is an argument for, oh, well, he's just doing this because he had, 4 years to figure this shit out without it. Yeah, there is that. But also, if I'm fucking saying it, there's a reason.
Right.
I'll tell you if some shit worked or not.
No
I'll
matter
literally tell
what,
you how
though,
much we made.
there still has to be a willingness to go and try it. You could have just kept doing the
Which is
norm.
really where it comes down to. It's laziness, and what really pisses me off about, and I see this more with like those old fuck ass boomer field elders that are like they do like one Instagram post every fucking fiscal quarter,
Right.
and they haven't put shit on Instagram since COVID hit. There's no innovation, there's no flavor to what they do. It's just the same. It's basically a 9-to-5 office job. It's the same boring shit, the same menu, the same sandwich made the same way over and over and over again. And it sickens me. I find it, I take personal problems with it, but you look where I came from, man.
Right.
It was being law enforcement, being military is very anti-complacency.
Right.
It's about not being comfortable. So there's a lot of side arguments to go, well, he thinks like this for this reason. Well, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, you're right. Third of all, if any field hits me up and says, hey, what are your numbers like? We're thinking about doing this. What would you recommend? I'll fucking hand you my blueprint. I don't give a shit.
Right.
It's
I
progression.
work with All Patriot Airsoft, who is a competing field. I had beers with the owner of my competitor the other day. I'll open my books up to him. I'll tell him what's successful. The All Patriot, I'm gonna take credit for this. I'm gonna do it. That's right, Case. I love you. That field 100% got a Discord channel because of the success that we had.
Right.
Because I reached out to the owner and said, dude, this thing has over 200 people. I'm getting all this customer data, all this different demographic information, constant community growth. It's a free tool. Why aren't you guys doing this? And then, boom, they got a Discord now.
That was me,
Which,
bitch.
by the way, go follow their Discord. Yeah. Especially if you're a local in the area. We have a lot of California and East Coast listeners. Of course, these guys are out in California. Go follow their Discord. And also
241 members as of right now in my Discord. And most of those guys don't play at my field.
Wow.
That's fucking dope.
Dude.
As a field, has some fucking nothing ass, barely a 4-day-a-week field, has 200 fucking people in a Discord? How did they do that? Me, bitch.
Exactly. That's basically
I want my
right.
business to work.
Right.
Why wouldn't you do this? I had a guy. Oh, I'm not going to say who it was because he is a good friend of mine.
Say his
and I don't
name.
want to make fun of him. But I was talking to him about marketing and like, to try this, try that.
Right.
He's like, well, I don't know. He advertised. This just going to tell you how old he is. He advertised for his airsoft only shop on the radio. Got upset that he didn't see an ROI.
Radio?
Yeah.
The radio.
They-
The thing none of us listen to anymore.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but I get in my car and my car automatically turns on my Bluetooth.
But he listens to the radio.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
old enough to be my dad, I think.
Dude,
Might
this
be a
is-
little younger than my actual father.
This is the hard time I feel like a lot of companies are having, is keeping up with the constant change. And I think that's where you're seeing a lot of younger guys who are coming in. Well, I say younger. Like, I feel like I'm old. I'm 30.
You are old.
It's old in airsoft.
Yes, exactly. But I
It's
feel like
almost dead if you're in the army.
the nice part is like, you know, being born early 90s or late 80s, you got to have this, you get this technical advantage of you've been with it as it continues to evolve, and you start to, you know, these things are coming and you see the way they're changing. And if you want to reach these people, it gives you a much better platform to be able to reach out and hit people in the face with your product or your company or whatever. And you can do that a lot better. Whereas these older guys who are like, no, this is the norm. This is how it works. It's always worked. It doesn't anymore. You can't put an ad in the newspaper. You can't put an ad in the fucking car flyer. You can't put a radio ad out and expect things to work anymore. You're just going to have to take the bullet and get on the internet.
Understand
do social
things
media.
change.
Yes.
Things progress out of your old age days.
Right. You have to
Okay?
get on Task Force Podcast and promote your business because you want to go to the most cancerous place possible
To
and
do
drive
so.
it down in the ground. You know?
What a fucking gorilla turtle, for God's sakes.
Man.
But
imagine.
no, dude. So I applaud you for
Yeah.
having an airsoft field and going in a direction that obviously is working, and you are catering
Really
to
well.
airsoft people so that way you can make money, and it's not a shameful thing. It really isn't a shameful thing.
One of the things I like to explain to people when I consult with them, is I remind them of the Model T. The Model T,
It's
as most
Ford,
car guys
sucks.
will remember, especially as so the Model T is also used in marketing. It's used as an example.
Right.
It was one product, the same way, never changing. Here you fucking go, take it or leave it. Well, that worked for a short amount of time. Over time, different customers had different needs, so it evolved from there. But it started there, it worked, and then Ford evolved. What?
Right.
Fucking, if they figure this shit out in what, the 20s, the 30s, what? You can't figure that shit out as an airsoft field.
Right.
Oh, but
I agree.
what usually happens is, again, you have these old ass field owners who want to do these things. They want an active Instagram, all this shit, but they don't want to relinquish the control. Or they don't want to pay some kid
Right.
to do it. They don't want
Yeah.
to pay one of their employees.
Yeah.
That's what it really comes from. Hot take. It's control. It's dudes being control freaks.
Yeah. It's
They-
the
they
female
don't
in their
trust-
head. Yeah.
They'll trust their employees to work the register and ref games, but when it comes to something that will
Progression?
directly
Yeah.
or when it will represent them as a business, which is weird because they're doing that as employees anyway, but I guess I
Right.
can fuck myself. But when it comes to Instagram, oh no, I don't know, he's too young for that. Like, he's 16. He basically has a fucking master's degree in Instagram.
Oh yeah.
How,
Yeah.
this player has more followers than your fucking business, and you're saying no?
Right.
And all you have to do to get these kids to help you out is just let them play for fucking free, give them some BBs every now and then, and give them a Gatorade. That's all you need.
Right.
We figured that out years ago. Every field will usually adopts that business model for like refs, shit like that. Paintball's been doing that for years. It's cost-free labor basically. But that usually stops once it goes beyond a physical level. So like
Right.
reffing, cool. Check-ins, fucking no one cares. Like no one, you'll let a fucking 14-year-old run your chrono, but you won't let him run your Instagram.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
That's like
Why?
It is hard. I could see it from a different point of view of like,
Jedi Master.
if you're 14 and somebody's like, this place sucks, will you go off the rails? You're not
Keyboard
quite
warrior.
in control. Yes.
Yeah.
And so you get some of that, like, and I can understand that, but to sit there and say that it's not an
Adults do
important,
that too. It's
Right,
usually all
right.
The North American airsofters.
right?
Yes.
But to say that he doesn't know anything or can't progress your business, that's stupid.
He might
You're
be
lying
the
to
reason
yourself.
you make millions.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
So stupid.
it's
Shit.
just
I trust my life more with the 14-year-old than I do myself. You know?
what?
Zombie
I
brings
put
up
my
a good
life-
point.
yeah.
Zombie 13, U.S. Airsoft, which is up in Anderson, they didn't really have a very active Instagram for a while. But recently, so starting from the last maybe 4 to 6 months, I've noticed because I stock all the fields, there's this young kid who's been the face of the Instagram, and he's doing great.
Yeah.
All Patriot is the same way. I think he's also their head ref. I think he's in his early 20s or so. He's the face of their Instagram, and he's doing great. If you don't have an active Instagram as a field, you might as well shut your doors now, because I'm gonna
Right.
fucking put you out of business.
Right. And once you're on Instagram, you might as well be on Facebook. You might as well be on Twitter, because you can do everything on one, and boop, there you go. You're posting on all three at once, and you're getting triple the coverage. It's like these things come very easily if you really look for them. So if you're wanting to grow your stuff, you can do this.
Right. There's two languages I learned real fast. The parent language and the kid language.
Right.
I learned that. So when I
What up, noodles?
talk on Instagram, or when I reply on Instagram, I assume I'm talking to kids, to teenagers,
Right.
and players. When I talk on Facebook, I assume I'm talking to parents. And I usually tailor my content that same way. So like I put up a post about iPro, about using iPro and the ratings and stuff like that.
Right.
The way that the Instagram caption is very different than the way that the Facebook caption is.
Because
Right.
old people know Facebook better than Instagram. So they will follow your information on Facebook while the kid goes to Instagram.
He's a very well conversed young man.
But
very
on
polite and
Instagram, he's like,
professional.
come fuck some shit up this weekend, you know?
Basically, yeah. That's
Yeah.
in a nutshell, that's fairly accurate.
Yeah.
See, I love this. You're preaching to the choir here, man. I don't understand why there's a lot of fields aren't doing it. And the fact that you're out here saying, like, I'm willing to give this information to my competitors. This right here is what you need more of in the airsoft community.
Right.
Because Caber is doing what I feel most airsofters should do, which is if you want things to grow and you want the sport, hobby, whatever you want to call it, because there's people out there, you have to support each other to help the whole thing grow, and yourself. You can grow
that'll never happen.
exponentially when you are giving somebody a platform to talk on, when you are helping them grow. Hopefully they're a good person and they can return the favor and say, hey, we don't play on this weekend, but these guys are open. You can go check
Right.
them out, and whatever, you can play there.
Yeah.
You know, common courtesy is generally built between businesses. And if you're approaching airsoft as a business because you're trying to make money off of it, you should still approach it the same way as trying to grow the sport and hobby, whatever.
Right.
I don't feel like anybody really understands that.
At this
No.
point, if you're coming into this world and just want to be a cocksucker, dude, I can't wait to send the minions out to get you. But
You do it. Go
Dude.
ahead. People will watch your shit.
exactly, it's unfortunate how they can
Yes,
just come
there's
take
Night,
it.
There's kind of-
Nightbot's on it.
There's two ways
Yeah.
that I like to operate. So for me, there's no such thing as a single track mindset. So there's two ways I like to look at the community. One is obviously I fucking love my buddies.
Right.
I love all those guys. All field owners are human beings with financial things they have to do.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I want my friend Casey's field, All Patriot and Galt, to do well because I want my friend to do well. Even if I didn't know him, like the guys up at Combat Zone, if I've had conversations with them telling them how to do stuff. When Capital Edge Paintball got involved in airsoft, I directly helped him. Like, hey, dude, try this. I made videos about it, for goodness
Right.
sakes. So there's that aspect, and I want to make sure everyone eats. But there's also, if you want to get dark, there's also, this is really a conversation that for field managers, there's profitability in community outreach. It's a dick thing to say, but I'll say it. No one likes the guy. Why do you think celebrities, when they do something nice, they always make sure there's a picture being taken?
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
there
yeah.
is that aspect also, that I mean, if you're a hard nose, I have to see the ROI on on everything I do. Cool. Well, the nicer you are, the more money people will give you. So there's that.
Right.
So, yeah, there is this sense when me and All Patriot team up to do some stuff together. Yeah, there's a great community involvement, and that is true. But there's also as a business, you have to take into consideration the financial aspects of everything you do. So if this kid wants an ARP9 and I don't have one, I'm going to send him to Predator Paintball, which is a technically a competitor that's less than 20 minutes away from me.
Right.
But I understand that when he buys an ARP9 for my competitor, he's going to come to my field.
Right. Yeah. It's the way it is.
Is that kind of a dick way to look
Right.
at it? Yeah, that is kind of a dick greedy way to look at it. But
it's
if
not.
you really want to be nuclear about it, but at the same sense, like, I don't have this thing. Go buy it from him. Go give him your money. Then make sure you come give me your money.
Right. It's not necessarily, because I could say the same thing about you right now, right? Your guys, like, I've got guys in the chat. They're going to go subscribe to you and they're going to watch your videos. But ultimately, I know next Saturday, they're going to be here and they're going to be watching the show. They're not just going to stop doing what they were doing beforehand, you know? And that's crazy to think about when you're like, oh, I'll lose them forever. Like, no, you won't. Not unless you're like suddenly change something or you're completely a dick. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy that people don't think about that stuff, you know?
It's funny. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu for years, and I've been around like fighters and all those guys. I used to corner them and stuff like that. In the fight world, if you go to the way that people will characterize a good gym is if you're lacking in a skill set. So let's say you want to be better at like Kimuras from the closed guard.
Yep.
But your instructor isn't really a Kimura from closed guard guy. He'll tell you like, hey, this dude's putting on a seminar down the road. Go fucking hit that guy up, man. That guy knows what he's doing. But you're already. So there's two ways to do it. There are two ways to think of that. One, you're already paying the monthly fee at your main guy's gym anyway. So for you to go out, check some stuff out and come back is nothing. But realistically, from a skill set standpoint, if you know you have customer loyalty, they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
So I've trained at different gyms. I've gone to seminars in different places. I love all kinds of guys, but I still go or try to go. My home gym is still Aries in Roseville. Right. But if the UFC gym is doing a seminar, or if they have something more I want to do, or if they have a guy that maybe has a wrestling move I want to learn better, I'll go to them for a one-off. But my main shit is this thing over here.
Right. Yeah, dude.
I learned that from the fight game.
Yeah. See, and same thing as you. Like, I used to do jiu-jitsu all the time. I was taking it heavily. I don't know why. Exactly I need to get back into it because it really is a fucking good time. Getting beat up on the weekends and having some smaller dude slap you around really humbles you.
Chris is a purple belt.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. Well, they're up on the East Coast. We're, like I said, in Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
So we're like in the middle of nowhere.
Kansas. Oh, yeah. There's nothing in Kansas.
Yeah. But no, that is the one thing that I've taken away from that. And it applies to multiple things. If you're running a business, if you want to be a good leader, this is something you really have to think about because, for example, our Discord, prime example, I was like, having a Discord would be beneficial, whether it grows fast or not. I don't know how to fucking set up a Discord. I met some guys, the MT6 guys, the Mean Team 6 guys, and they were like, oh yeah, we understand Discord. Bro, I was like,
here's a complete server for you.
Yeah. I was like, how to do this. Would you mind helping me? Because I have no fucking idea. They went in, they set up this nice Discord.
Set the whole fucker up.
And asked for nothing, just out of kindness. Like, I was man enough to realize I'm not going to do this. And rather than stumble my way through it, make it shit, I was able to say, go do this for me. You know what you're doing and I don't. And the same thing applies when you're wanting somebody to get better. If you're at work and you're training somebody how to do something and you're like, wow, I kind of suck at this and you know it, don't make that guy suck at it. Send him to Bob down the street or Bob over in IT who knows exactly what he was fucking doing and have him do it and train that guy, because now you have a better employee. Now you have a better player on your team because Tim knows how to really work the corners. You know what I mean? Like, you got to use this when you're...
You went off on a pretty serious rant.
I mean,
there.
it's just kind of, people really don't realize it.
Those things that you just talked about require introspection, and they require you to understand your own ego and its limitations.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about niche level businesses like an airsoft field, where you might be in an area like in California or on the East Coast, where you could basically throw a cat an hour in any direction and hit an airsoft field,
right.
Especially like up here in Northern and Southern California, it's very much you can pretty much go an hour in any direction and be at a field.
Yeah.
So when it's at a place like that, you're gonna be very concerned about you and your own, because again, this is a hot take, because you're not good enough at business yet to learn how to make profitable, diverse experiences for your players or your customers.
Right.
You haven't figured that out yet. You're constantly living in scramble mode because you're only making enough money to get by.
Yeah.
Right.
And you will just hold on to that little bit of sand and just clench your hands as much as possible.
The bad part is you'll never get any more than that little bit of sand. And that's the issue. That's the issue.
You have what you have, and you got to hold on to it for dear life.
Right.
You're not going to try and think about doing anything else that, yeah, you might take maybe $1,000 bath for the first 4 months, but after it catches on, after enough people make YouTube and social media posts about it, you're going to start profiting from it.
Right.
So yeah, I took a $2,000 bath. So in that week from 14 to 18 January, I lost about $2,000 on a Saturday, but we still made $9,000 that whole weekend. Arguably, that Milsim Day weekend, we made the most amount of money. We just happened to have made it on a different day.
Right.
So it didn't really impact it.
Right.
So we do an average of, this is why I like telling, so I also like telling people what my numbers are, because when I say some shit, you fucking know it's what.
Hard flicks. Hard flicks.
We do about $9,000. We're open 4 days a week with basically a snack bar filled with guns. We're doing about $9,000 every weekend on average, give or take. So when I say like, yo, we're doing this event, or we're doing this, or we're doing this, or we're doing this, and some field manager's like, that shit's not going to be successful. I can't.
Right.
Hey man, I'm the operations manager for a business that does on average $9,000 between Thursday and Sunday. You can either take that advice for what it's worth or fucking not. I don't
Right.
care. I'll open my books up to anyone. I don't, as long as my CFO's cool with it. I'll open select analytics on my books with anyone.
Right.
See,
Because when I talk to a field or when I talk to a shop and I say something, the first thing they're going to want to know, and I learned this from doing stuff with KWA or just being a player,
How much do you
why
make?
should I listen to this fucking idiot? I
Right.
learned this as when I used to teach marksmanship in the Army. If you tell people in maybe a few sentences like, hey, it's a good idea to listen to me, here's fucking why.
Right.
Here's how you know I just didn't pull this out of my ass, which I kind of did, but that's not the point.
sometimes you got to lay some credentials down and let people fucking know. Like,
Sometimes you have to pull your dick out, slam it on the table for
Yeah.
like a couple seconds, and then put it back in. Like, okay, we good? Okay,
Yes.
now we can go.
Do you
forward
see
with the
this
purpose of
smear?
this conversation.
Yeah, this smear right here is why you need to listen to me.
oh, they're left with the permanent stain,
Yeah.
and they will remember.
you know where this mushroom tip started? Okay, money. Okay.
No, dude. And see, it's nice that you're transparent. Well, there's still some things I feel like you have to keep somewhat to yourself.
That's my secret.
You have to keep some things to
Not a
yourself
whole
when you're
lot.
running a business. Yes, there's really not a whole lot, but your willingness to be transparent and help people, like that puts you steps ahead. And if you haven't done martial arts, like honestly, you will learn a lot of things like this from it. I know a lot of people say like, oh, it really humbles you and whatnot. Some people are like taking it to a weird level, but there is actually a level of like truth to that, like I tell you what, right now, when I was doing jujitsu, I was 250 pounds and I was a big fucking dude. I'm 6'2", 250, and you sure as fuck get humbled when some little 190-pound dude comes up and kicks your ass, and you're like, doesn't matter. Nothing fucking matters. I suck, and it's time to accept it.
I think in
You get humbled.
business, the way I would correlate business and jiu-jitsu is if you can accept the fact that you, as a dude in your 30s, weighing 200-something pounds, the first time you get fucking triangled by some skinny-ass 15-year-old in the first 30 seconds, if you can understand that and accept that happened and learn from it, you'll be just fucking fine.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll go to the dark side of why I say things. I'll tell anyone whatever they want. I'll show you my numbers. I'll tell you all my secrets, even like the dark side of why I do shit, like the boy, like the hee kind of aspect of shit. Because to an extent, I'm so fucking confident in what I do. There's a good chance that if you try it, you might not be as good as me. I'll just
Right.
fucking say it. But I have no problems. This is also like this is a very alpha fucking cop thing. Like I'm so confident in my ability to be better than you. Like yeah, okay, that's kind of a dick thing to say,
Hey.
but
Confidence
I'll
is
tell
key.
anyone everything because I want to see if it's just isolated to my success or if you can take my ideas and replicate that success because that's only going to reinforce how right I was in the first place.
Right.
So there's that aspect of it. Like, oh, that actually did work. It wasn't just me.
Time to push this hard now. Time to
But
make
yeah,
it
let's
happen.
double down on this
Yeah.
shit. We're splitting
Fuck
both
yeah.
of these aces and doubling down.
Yes. So I feel like
What does that ask?
I feel like we've been talking to the field a lot, and I love this is a great conversation. I really do love it. But I am very interested. You do work with KWA, and what do you do for KWA in that aspect of things? Like, dude, I of course
Just
I run a
about everything
KWA.
except be an employee. To be perfectly honest. So it started my official. Actually, I do have a book. Reading the comments, I do have a book. It's just a YouTube channel because I don't like to read. I
Baxter, there you
started.
go.
Welcome to Airsofters, where we don't read.
We're not reading. I started. They initially picked me up as a law enforcement. What's the official title? Just a law enforcement ambassador with KWA. So it started with that because KWA has always had their law enforcement branch,
Right.
but no one really knew what to do with it. It was like this kind of mysterious thing that we don't like. What the fuck do we do this? Like we know this thing can work, but what do we do?
Right.
So the guy running it, or that still runs it, the head guy that is in charge of the law enforcement division is Thomas. Thomas is also a giant airsoft nerd. Thomas was also in the Navy. Well, what Thomas doesn't have is a direct law enforcement background. So while you can still take a veteran, even a non-combat veteran, and you can put them into that space and they'll do very well because there's still some crossover.
It's not the same.
It's not quite the same exactly.
Right.
So they brought on some, and he's one guy for goodness sakes. He has enough going on. So I just randomly put out there. It was a literal Instagram story, and I would just put, "Huh, I would like to be a KW law enforcement ambassador at some point," and they fucking responded to it. They're like, "Here's our number. Call us."
Okay then.
Shit. Yeah.
So I talked to him. I guess that phone call went very well because it was more about like my specific background as a
Right.
law enforcement instructor in different aspects of things and like gun stuff and all this other cool shit that I do, I guess. So it was really, I got picked up for that side of the house. So they brought me out to, it was the International Police Chiefs Convention, which was 2 years ago in Chicago. And I got drunk at a bar with the not drunk, I was definitely drinking, I was drunk. With the marketing director, Tom. His name's Tom. So there's Thomas and Tom,
Yep.
two different people. Sometimes it was very confusing for me. I figured it out. And me and Tom he does stuff with Speak UB. He's a sneakerhead. Tom's fucking great. And Thomas is great. Tom is great. And we started drinking and just had like a super nerd out conversation about how much we love different aspects of stuff. And from that, I told him about what I was doing with my field and, the one-on-one stuff I was doing. And they started picking me up for more rec airsoft stuff as well.
right.
Which is why I did like the Hot Minute with Kevin. I've done the Fight Night stuff. I did that with Cole and with Sapo.
Right.
Before that, ironically enough, I did and I don't know if they remembered. I don't think they knew this was me when I did it. When the Mod 1 first came out, they had that React video I was on that. I was on the React video because Speed QB, Roy hooked me up with that gig. And so before I was even officially paired up with KWA, I'd already done a project with him. I just don't think they knew that at the time.
Right.
And so now my official titles are I'm a KWA law enforcement ambassador. I'm an independent rep for KWA, so I could sell KWA stuff.
Right.
But I'm also separate. So that's me. That's me. Separate from that, I'm also a vendor for my field. So
Right.
all those things sort of complement each other, basically.
Yep. Yep.
So I'll have like weekly conversations, and they gave me the strategic marketing plan they had for like 2020 from last year. We do like nerd level like regular airsoft stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the law enforcement side of the house. But I still went to SHOT Show with them. I went to the Alameda County SWAT competition with them as a rep. That was really cool.
Yep.
So pretty much anytime they need basically anything, they just I just
Call
get a
this
text, like,
motherfucker right here. I got
like,
it.
I'll get a text
Yeah.
from Thomas or Tom like, yo, can you hop on Skype? Like, fuck, this is about to be really cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
So that brings me to a really good question. This is something that's kind of becoming more and more popular to talk about, and that is
Dick pics? What?
yeah, those
Dick
exactly.
pics?
No,
No?
we actually do need an outline for a mushroom
Stamp.
our mushroom stamp patch. So I might get with you on that because we're gonna need an outline. So I'm gonna.
Why don't you just take a postage stamp and put like a psychedelic mushroom on it?
Because I want an actual dick mushroom stamp. I think it would just be a good patch. I don't know. I don't know, but we're getting really weird. so
Man,
but
calm
no,
down.
a very popular subject. Lucas Botkin of T-Rex Arms recently went to an AMS event, of course, and it kind of re-sparked up firearms, airsoft for trainings with firearms. It was a discussion that had been had before in the past. It kind of simmered down. He popped back up at the event, and it has blown up. And yourself, being a law enforcement ambassador for KWA and talking about training in airsoft versus firearms, how do you feel it translates over? Of course, there's a video. If you really want to know, like, there's somebody at it who's done airsoft and then watch them try to do a firearms thing. Go to T-Rex and watch the video of him with Liku Tactical. Liku Tactical. He's from Japan, had shot nothing but airsoft guns. Came here, hung out with him for a while. Within 24 hours, dude's fucking killing it.
Transition spot on, correct.
Holy shit. So, I mean, that should have plenty of proof for you. But yourself, being in the industry, doing firearm instructor stuff, and doing airsoft ambassador, what do you feel? Is it a good tie together there? Does it work good?
This is actually my favorite, believe it or not, it's my favorite subject in airsoft to talk about because training is what got me into airsoft in the first place.
Right.
It really comes down to, for me, it comes down to really two things. What is your objective for the training and kind of what is your mindset going in? So you can get training value out of fucking anything.
Right.
It's just a matter of how much funds and time do you want to devote into it. Anyone that says that there is no correlation between the two is a fucking idiot.
Amen.
And I will die on that hill because if we, as in the firearms world, if we as shooters can agree that there is value in dry firing, well, how the fuck can you rationally say that there is no training value in airsoft, loaded or unloaded?
Right.
If we can understand the value of shooting a gun without shooting a gun.
I would say the
Usually
largest.
when I bring that up, guys just kind of go like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
Yeah. The largest argument I've always heard is recoil. Largest argument, rebuttal to the whole thing all the time, recoil. Or
fucking dumbest argument because they've clearly never shot an IPSC open class 38 super.
Yeah,
right.
actually, I've never. So
Honestly, a low grade like a 22, very similar to a gas blowback WEM4.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Jesus.
So, I mean, I'm excited. I
Dude.
like this subject. And
Dude,
I drink
listen.
a Java Monster beforehand, so I'm like, ugh.
Dude, I'm on my
This was a Black
13th.
Rifle Coffee Espresso.
I actually had their Freedom blend this morning. I woke up and I made some pour over coffee and Freedom roast, and it was good. I realize I'm the coffee nerd.
I made a meme quite a while ago. I don't know if it was a post or an Instagram story. Airsofters spend hundreds of dollars to increase recoil. Shooters spend hundreds of dollars to reduce it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's facts.
Yes, this is very big facts.
Fight me.
Dude. But so
But it comes down to what are you really trying to do?
Right.
But it really,
Right.
most of the guys that I kind of talk to about this, when they criticize it, the first thing I ask is, okay, what's your fucking background? Like,
Right.
oh, I own a gun. Oh, you could suck a dick. You know what the fuck you're talking about. Get the
Right.
fuck out of my face with your bullshit ass. little
Basically.
idiots. Because any fuckboy that owns a gun can have an opinion. But unless you've devoted essentially your entire life to not only firearms, but the training of various skill sets therein, get the fuck away from me for this conversation if you say no. The fuck
Right.
out of here. What are you, stupid?
Yes.
Because, like, when we talk about, say, doing CQB drills, well, we used to do glass houses, which is fucking nothing. An advanced glass house is where you just put sticks in the ground with tape on it, like we're surveying a plot of land,
Right.
basically. So if you can take nothing and make something out of it, then there is value. Now, how much value you're going to get out of it versus
Right.
how much you want to invest, that's really
individual. yeah.
that's the opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an individual opinion. So it's a very, I don't know about complex, but you can get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
We used to use airsoft for force training. That's how I got into fucking airsoft.
Right.
I was that guy who's like, I'm not spending $500 on an airsoft gun. Here I am at a $1,200 DSG later and going to fuck myself.
No, I think even
It's real.
even just being
It's
from not a law enforcement or military background, just being one, an avid airsofter for a long time, two, an avid gun owner and person who carries a gun most every day because constitutional
because Kansas
right.
doesn't have laws. Go ahead.
Right. Yep. Constitutional carry
Basically.
here. I think you can get a lot of things. You can of course, you can work on body positioning when you're trying to shoot. You can
Right.
work on firearm manipulation and firearm handling.
How not to shoot yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can work on, dude, there's so many little things you can work on that it's just so crazy to me that people can't find a correlation between the two where it can actually be useful. And let's be honest, gun guys, for them, it's very hard because they're like, well, I'm not going to play with a $300 toy gun and try to train with that. Dude, I get your point of view, but honestly,
Also spend $1,000 on a fucking optic that they're never going to use beyond 25 meters. Go fuck yourself.
right, exactly. Like, in my opinion, you're $300 on an airsoft pistol, a Glock, let's say a Glock 19X.
Tristan.
You spend
Tristan's in the
$300
chat.
bucks.
Yay.
You spend $300 on a Glock 19X and train with that, and then you've got your Real Seal Glock 19X. You would get more benefit out of doing dry fire training and firearm manipulation with your $300 pistol than you would your $1,200 red dot on the top.
Your Zev Industries custom Glock. Like,
Yeah,
fuck out of here, bitch.
I just don't
People
get
that-
it.
It are the ones that don't know shit really about either topic. That's the
Right.
problem.
Right.
Right. And
Also, like in the online community, anything online is gonna be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Because everyone can see it. I used to bring. So I've been doing specifically armed security guard training, license certification training, and conceal CCW. I think what do they call it in Kansas? Like a CHL or a CHP, something like that. Oh no, wait, it's constitutional carry.
it's
Yeah.
constitutional carry. We used to have the
Yeah.
CCW before.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, in California, in Northern California, CCW is fairly easy to acquire where I'm at. So I've been an instructor in that. I've been doing that since, almost maybe 12 years.
Right.
For the last about 2 years or so, I've specifically been bringing my KWA airsoft pistols to my range classes, and everyone is just dumbfounded. But the problem when you have someone about maybe our age or older is they grew up with inferior products. They
Right.
grew up with shitty quality products.
Yep.
Yeah, a bad product. There's no real training value out of a Springer Clear pistol. That's
Yes.
fair. But when you show someone like the KWA 226 and you put it in their fucking duty holster and it seats and they
Yes.
can go up to a level, they can go to full retention on a level 3 Safari Land, it changes
Yes.
their whole world.
Yeah.
Right.
Amen.
The other problem that comes in is airsofters. I see this more as an airsofter thing. Airsofters don't understand what is and is not important to a product when it comes to training.
Right.
So, like the ATP stuff I do, the ATP versus like an Elite Force Glock, it's the same fucking thing if you're training. It fits in the holster, goes bang, it's about as accurate as the other. But you'll see these airsofters go, oh, and it's fucking not a Glock, and you want to have a Glock. Like, it
Right.
doesn't matter if it's a fucking licensed Glock or not.
Right.
Oh, but I can't change the fucking bucking out, or I want a new blowback unit.
Right.
None of that shit matters for training.
No.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
I agree.
That's the
And
problem. Is
Baxter,
all these idiots online are speaking from a lack of experience.
Yes.
So I pull my dick out and shut them up.
Baxter brought up a point. He said, I think it's because they get caught up on the fact that in airsoft, you can hide behind something. It's a soft target and be fine. Whereas real steel, you would go through it like butter. Just a thought. My words to that are, if you're a real steel guy and you don't know the difference between cover and concealment, then you are probably going to fucking die anyway. So I don't you got to work
usually-
on that.
There's not a whole as a whole. Let's look at it as a national thing, as a national community versus a local.
Right.
As a whole, there's not a lot of crossover between one or the other in the same aspects. So like, there's a bunch of like guys I know that are weak, that own a shit ton of guns, they love airsoft, but they don't really go outside of bench shooting. Like maybe they've done an IDPA thing here and there,
Right.
but that's it. When I used to do tac rifle training, private sector, I had a
I agree,
kid,
Baxter. Is something you hear.
all these guys they're all super nice, but this kid he had an M4 with some variation of an ACOG 4 power scope with a fucking heavy barrel and all this shit on his gun, and he never took it past 25 meters. You don't need a fucking heavy barrel on an M4 past 25 meters on a bench rest, kids.
Oh, yeah.
What are we fucking doing? But when you ask him like what his dope is at 400 yards with that right, he doesn't fucking know.
Right.
They don't know how to use this shit in the first place.
Nah, man, it's
Call
just a
of
checklist.
Duty.
It's a checklist.
So you look at like your average shooter, and you have to understand the world that these people live in.
Right.
Most shooters don't live outside the 25-meter straight line general public shit. Not a lot of guys are shooting IDPA. Not a lot of guys are doing specialty shit. So
Right.
they're not going to have a concept for this stuff.
Right.
So they're going to see it and maybe believe it. But if you're an airsofter, you're going to go, I don't want a fucking ATP. It's a piece of shit. Blah, blah, blah. Like, no. Context, my guy. Context.
Right.
What are you using this for?
Yes.
Because if you look at, let's say, a TM High Kappa, let's say you take this $1,000 built out Speed QB style TM High Kappa, one of the best pistols you can own. What's the training value if it doesn't fit in a holster?
Right.
That's a double stack 1911. Not a whole lot of guys own double stack 1911s. A lot of guys own single stack 1911s.
Yep.
Even then, I don't know a whole lot of guys that are CCW that are concealed carry in 1911s. A lot of it's Glocks, XDs. I've been trying to buy off Eve like the Smith, the M&P Shield that they sell. It's been sold out for God knows. That's the number one pistol I want to buy. I haven't seen that in a shop ever. But it's because the two worlds don't understand each other,
Amen.
and because there's not enough. Here's a great example. I was at SHOT Show. This is maybe the last SHOT Show, SHOT Show 2020. KWA had this big booth, as they always do for SHOT Show.
Right.
We could get on a side discussion. It's 100% fucking useless to have an airsoft guy at SHOT Show. That's a side discussion. The NRA.
I still want to go. I still want to go.
The NRA rep, let me say, an NRA guy walked straight to the booth, looked around. Tom, the marketing director for KWA, basically the voice of KWA as far as I'm concerned, tried to interact with him, fucking guy shut him down. Just like, okay, cool thing. Fucking beat feet out.
Right.
I find out that NRA's rep is there with his brother. I was in the Army with his brother in the National Guard. I knew him. I get to talking with them and go, hey, you should come check out this booth. And then I initiate that conversation between them.
Right.
But had that very specific circumstance never happened, NRA wouldn't have given a shit about what KWA is doing.
Right.
Doesn't matter how big KWA is in the airsoft world.
Sometimes you
gives
get
a shit.
lucky and you know somebody and that holds some merit to them and then things work out. Unfortunately, sometimes it is about connections, unfortunately.
No one from the USCCW, no one from IDPA, no one from gun rights advocates is going to go and talk to the guys at G&G.
Yeah.
They don't give it
Right.
because there hasn't been a bridge. Haley tried it with 2 videos, didn't really catch on. Lucas Arms did it with the Lico Gentleman.
Yep.
That hit because it was more more relatable.
Right.
And then he did it with 2 more relatable videos, and that's going to translate very well.
Right.
And I think the AMS one will probably do it the best because there's more footage of it actually happening.
Right. Right.
Like, I think he probably has a better chance to make it work for the average shooter. But you're just so like professionals, guys like me, guys that have an armed background,
Right.
Your cops, your guys that shoot all the time. I can go up to them and hand them a fucking KWA LM4, lock that thing to the rear and hand it to them, and they fucking go berserk. They think it's real
Right.
because they haven't been jaded by the airsoft side of the house.
Yeah.
Because they've actually used guns in a utilitarian manner.
Right.
They're not just some fuckboy that dropped $1,600 after the fact on a Glock with a $400, holster that has no utilitarian. They've actually been shot. I mean, really, it's a conversation on the firearms community in general. There's so many different, like, you have these Gucci kids that have never been fucking shot at, that love doing these sexy ass drills and wearing all this sexy gear, and they don't know shit about shit. Versus, like, all my buddies have the most basic bitch, not Instagram worthy EDCs. It's a leather holster with a stock Glock 23, and that's usually
Right.
it. Because they know what the fuck they're doing.
Right. Yeah, I carry,
Big
I think
difference.
I've got a Glock 19 I do have a holster where I can put my TLR1 on it, which I don't carry unless I'm going out at night because there's no reason. And then I have another appendix carry, which doesn't work great now that I'm fat, that had basically a version of the sidecar from T1.
Concealment when it goes over.
Fuck yeah.
No? Okay.
Dude, you just, and then go for it, They think, whoa, he's going to show me his fat. And then
Stretch marks.
gun. Yeah.
Conceal carry without a shirt on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, having things that are useful, and I think it translates over into airsoft if you use it as a training tool. Like when I had a SIG 226, I actually at the time also had a real SIG 226, and I had the KJ Works SIG 226, and I could use it for reload drills and holstering and unholstering. And it
Later
translated
vectoring.
over with no issues.
Later cell.
Same size, fit in the real steel holster. Everything worked out. It was good for firearm manipulation, but I didn't have anything on my real steel gun, so I didn't want to have anything on my airsoft gun because it doesn't need to be there. I'm using it for training. So if it matches, then it matches. Same could be said for your rifle. Maybe you only run a red dot. So you put just a red dot on your rifle. It doesn't look very Instagrammy, but if you're using it for that,
Fucking works.
yeah, if you're using it for that, then use it for that. And I feel like there's a side of airsofters that's becoming more popular now with, like I said, people like Lucas Botkin and Travis Haley seems to be another one who is highly in the airsoft field. Those seem to be the 2 guys who are really kind of pushing it from the firearm side, saying, look, this really can be useful not only for tactics, but also firearm manipulation and other things. And you guys really should be looking at this as a training tool. And I think we'll see more of that grow the more popular and more talked about it becomes.
problem in, you could say this is in airsoft or in firearms in general, is the guys that naysay shit usually don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
It's usually what it comes down to. So it's the same in the fight game. It can be similar in business. It's if you're talking, okay, cool. You want to say no. What is your background?
Right.
Because I used to have guys that would talk shit when I was in the army. Guys would talk shit on the M9 or the Beretta 92.
Right.
I used to fucking place in competitions with that thing. Like,
Right.
oh, it's horribly. Now, granted, was there an argument over the stopping power of the 9mm FMJ? Okay, that's an argument.
Right.
But guys would say it was, unreliable or it's inaccurate. Like, I used to be top 10 in the state of California with that fucking gun at 30 yards. So gobble a dick, bro. Is it the operator or is it the equipment? What environment, what context is the operator using the equipment in?
Yeah.
Right.
It's always
It has
Don't
some
even
merit
wanna
to
go
play.
there, because-
It goes to the same thing for kit. Our airsofters will argue about kit, CQB versus outside milsim, and they'll be like, "Well, I have a specific kit for my CQB." Like, okay, well, there you go. Same argument, same.
Utilitarian fundamental art.
Right.
When I first started playing, I had a KWA M9, not even the M9 anymore, just an M9. I still have it. I had 2 magazines. I had a fucking thumb-powered, those little shitty speed loaders.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I had a can of gas in my back pocket, and I would fuck kids up all day. I just fuck them up. They had all this fancy shit on, and I just fucking find them, shoot in the face, go forward. I would own buildings for kill houses for entire games because I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
Because I had spent my whole life developing that set of skills.
Right.
But you'll get these new shooters or these airsofters or these fucking people in either world, and they think that product equals proficiency.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest fundamental fucking mistake you can make.
I own a
There's
Crytek.
no correlation.
I own a Crytek. I will decimate all on this field.
right.
How many kids have we seen on fields that just start and their parents buy them a full HBA loadout with a jack and fucking everything behind that they can get, and they suck? They're the worst.
What up, Brandon?
There's no difference between them and some rental on a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no correlation between product and proficiency.
Yeah.
Product can help proficiency. So if you can shoot a 2-inch grouping at 800 yards with an M16A2, and I give you a match grade M16A2 rifle with comp level ammunition, yeah, because of the product, you could probably take that grouping down to about an inch and a half, depending on
Right.
weather conditions. But because you already have solid fundamentals,
Yep.
so it can help, but it's not gonna fucking
Right.
baseline you.
You kind of
Just because
talk
you have a driver's license doesn't mean you're gonna fucking win the Indy 500. The fuck
right,
out of here, bro.
right. Kind of talk the same thing
You
once you
can't
have,
even drive a stick.
if you have an airsoft gun and you've played with it for a long time, you become proficient.
Yeah.
You can upgrade your proficiency by going to a tight bore barrel, and you will get some more accuracy out of it. But if you don't have the proficiency, like, there's no point in having a highly upgraded gun when you first start. It seems important, but it's really not. You can really get in
Yeah.
with a
Have
cheap
these
gun.
people, and their whole argument is, I know what I'm doing because I fucking do airsoft. Like, you can just look up airsoft training videos. Like, well, what's your fucking definition of training, my
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
You're making a fucking video. You're not
GMR.
training for anything. The fuck are we doing?
No, there's
That's why I have tournament nights. I don't have speed nights. I have tournament Thursdays.
Yeah.
right.
That's
I'll
awesome.
fucking run these kids into the dirt. I don't give a fuck if they win. Fuck their ego.
No, we are, dude. We're coming up on 2 hours, and I want you to let people know where they can go to find you.
Your field,
I'll
your
pull
shit.
it back up on the screen to show them your YouTube and your Instagram as well here. So make sure, if you're not subscribed to Caber Up on YouTube, you go do so right now. It puts out plenty of videos like
Get
we
this
talked about
money.
earlier.
Getting the YouTube shmoney.
A bunch of different things that you could look forward to, such as gameplay, gear review, field talk, behind the scene field talk, and
Basically,
random just
the
bullshit.
guy you
Anger.
need.
Yeah,
He's
he
the guy
is-
you need when it comes to YouTube.
If you
and
had to
airsoft.
pick one airsoft channel to subscribe to get a little bit of everything, Caber Up is the one you want to go to.
From outside of this discussion here with him, I don't watch any of them motherfuckers, but I'd watch this.
Right.
I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't waste my time because it's
No.
all generic bullshit like you talked about earlier. So, but no.
It takes a lot for Nasty when
Talking
follow
has made me
anybody.
very popular. I don't know why.
It tends to be a thing.
That's easily 40% of my content is just shit talking. I
And-
don't get it. But again, I don't have to understand it. I just have to know how to exploit it.
Exactly. That's why
And
I do it.
Again, if you're not following on Instagram, TA_Caber, go check him out on there. Keep up to date with him and everything
I'm at
he's doing.
2,400 fucking followers? Why?
Yeah, 2406, man. Very nice.
Because of this.
Why?
Because the conversations you can
'cause you're
give
dope.
and the output is why someone like me would come to you and be like, yeah, fuck you, just to get a fuck you
'cause you-
back. That was dope.
because you
Shooting
get
jokes on my
drunk.
Instagram.
Because you get drunk and you do reviews of the Task Force podcast show.
So drunk.
But go follow him. And
Yeah.
if you are in California and you want to go check out True Aim, go play at the field. He would
me your
love to
money.
see you. Yes, give him your
Give
money.
this man the money.
In the words of Nasty, just buy it.
Just buy
just
it.
buy
Just
it.
pay for it. Just do it. Go.
And with that being said, of course, we have to hit the sponsors. If you guys are
All
looking
30
for
minutes
BBs,
worth of it.
yes. If you guys are looking for BBs, because right now it's hard to find BBs. Everybody's talking about it, and they can't find them. They're expensive. They're getting crazy. Go check out 6mmPlastic.com. Those guys have got all the BBs you need, different sizes, different weights, tracers, bio, non-bio, and you can get great deals on them. I'm
Yeah.
talking like I bought 3 bags of 3.2s, 3,000 rounds a bag, and it came out to like $30 shipped. That's fucking great. That's
they're
a great
smooth.
fucking deal. And they're quality BBs. Guys are using them at HPA, having no issues with them at all. So go check them out, 6mmPlastic.com, and use code TASKFORCE2020. Get 10% off your order, so even cheaper.
Do it.
Then you can also go check out the guys over at Dynamic Fuzz, because you Gucci girls out there are trying to make your gear look all fancy and you need to dress up that headset. You can go get some Dynamic Fuzz to put on those Comtac knockoffs that you got, or the
Most
MSA
likely
sort of knockoffs
knockoffs.
that you got. And you can get them.
Knockoff gang.
Knockoff gang. And they've got camouflage covers for them as well, so you can dress them up, make them look fancy if you want that multicam black. So go there, use code TFPOD10, 15% off your order there from us. As well, you go check out TS Blades, because sometimes on the field you just feel like cutting a motherfucker. But legally, you got to do it with a plastic knife to keep everybody safe. That way, Caber doesn't have to have a total lawsuit and everything to deal with on his field.
Right.
But
I would.
shit
I'd
ass.
stab everybody.
Go to
Fuck 'em.
airsoftknives.com. Check those guys out. Use code TS-Task Force Podcast and save 10 or 15%. I don't remember what it is from them. And as well, the newcomer, Anvil Tactical. AnvilTactical.com. Go pick up your Zap product, Zap patch products from there, or stickers, whatever you want. Keep track of your shit, grow your social media, use them to grow to your business.
OnlyFans.
And you can use code TaskForce21 and get 15% off your order from them. So, Caber, dude, it was awesome to have you on the show.
Hey guys, appreciate it.
It always starts off funky, but then it always ends up really good, and we get good conversation. So I love it.
I'm glad I didn't have to really say much. I just sat back and watched as a viewer. This was great.
Baby.
It was
This
good.
is
Shut
great.
the fuck up.
Well, you told him at the beginning of the show it's your job to make the show good because we suck.
And he
So
did it.
He
so
fucking
I didn't
nailed
have
it.
to do shit. Thank you. And
Yes. Anybody you want to shout out,
shut them all out.
they all get a chance now.
Old Patriot Airsoft is the field in Galt. CQB City is in Stockton. There is Capital Edge Paintball, who's working on it. Combat Zone Paintball, who's also working on it in Orville. God, who's around me? No one cares about Game Pod That Matters. US Airsoft up in Anderson, somewhere in there. And I don't know, I'm really good at shit. Buy KWA guns, tell them I sent you. I know promo code, just fucking buy them. Or buy them through me.
Yes.
Do
Even
I
better,
get it?
buy them through Caber.
Yeah.
What do you get? What?
What?
Do you get
I'm
what?
gonna hit him up in the DMs and be like, "You're on my show, fucker. I want 15% off my next order."
I mean, I do have drop shipping available.
Ooh. Hopefully, sometime in the future, we'll get to come out to California and play.
Yeah,
at True
because
Aim.
we
That would
went
be
out
fucking
east.
Awesome.
We need to
We
go
need
out
to go out
west.
Yeah, I'm
West.
not trying to come to Kansas anytime soon, so don't
Yeah.
take that personally.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm heavily offended because I don't even want to be here.
Hey,
so.
there's a lot of
Kansas
nice.
is known for all the good.
Tornadoes.
There's a lot of nice country girls here. Plenty of beer, plenty of guns and redneckery. So I mean,
that
there's
Northern
stuff.
California.
But
That's true.
again, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
If you guys aren't following Caber, go follow him. If you're not
Yeah.
following us on YouTube or Instagram, make
We
sure
understand.
you're subscribed, and we'll give you more of this cancer show. We'll see you guys next Saturday,
have a
where it will
good
be
one.
just me and Nasty. So we'll see you guys.
Later.